A&P near maple syrup. Eat breakfast.
Finally, a base of our own. Soon we'll have eyes on every corner of the system. Well done, Captain. I'll have those dismantled. You can never be too careful when moving into someone else's territory. Aside from the automated security, did you meet any resistance at the station? I knew it. They've been shadowing us since Monarch, maybe even longer. I've been less than honest with you. Your assignments weren't strictly about the salvage business. You might have figured that out already. That's right. Up until now, I've kept you in the dark for your protection, and more importantly, mine. But I'd like to think we've earned each other's trust. After the Monarch job, I started connecting the dots. I didn't like the picture. Then what we found at Station 1084 confirmed my fears. You and I have stumbled onto something big, something none of us were meant to know. Maybe the worst. Ask yourself why a skeleton crew was studying that Alta Vitae gas in secret. Ask yourself why stockpiles were hidden on a planet full of monsters. Before we go any further, I want you to keep an open mind. Can you do that for me, Captain? Aliens. I'm talking about aliens. They're the ones responsible for the deaths at 1084, and who knows what else. We have to put a stop to it. Hear me out. I'm saying it's aliens. I'm not asking you to like it. I'm not even asking you to believe it. But I need to act on this threat to the colony, and I can't do it alone.
Well, at least she doesn't expect us to believe it.
This doesn't feel at all right, Captain. The crew is skeptical. That's good. I don't want you walking into the unknown with blindfolds on. I assume you have questions? If we're gonna see this through, I'll need your trust and commitment. Now's the time for setting doubts aside. Conspiracy. One carried out with the help of human collaborators, assuming they haven't all been replaced. This is an invasion of our very cells. That damned gas is mixing our nucleon with halcyon biology to twist us, change us, make us more like those monsters on Monarch. No kidding. That's how they want it. When I lined up the evidence in my spreadsheet, there was only one possible conclusion looking back at me. This is my data talking, not my anxiety or lack of sleep. Dr. Chartrand is the crooked psychopath behind the gas experiments. She sold out her species, and I need you to put a bullet through her skull. Just think of it as salvaging hope from the smoking wreckage of humanity. This is your initiation into a future with sublight. Want a steady position in our ranks? Buy one with a bullet. Well, there's your usual fee. What else do you want, a promotion? It's yours. Even better. I'll owe you one. She's a research scientist and a damn good one. Before UDL poached her, she engineered a 0.2% increase in cystipig juiciness. Now she's doing the same thing with humanity. Her fingerprints were all over Station 1084. You saw what she did to her team. It's cute that you'd think that about me. I just want to add Savior of Humanity to my resume. I've got ambitions outside of this office, you know. Besides, this way Sublight gets first dibs on alien salvage. Do you usually come across innocent people trapped in suspension tanks? Because some of us would call that excessive. Remember, the tanks were just the shit she left behind. Just imagine the experiments she carted off to her next lab. We're far beyond theories. Chartrand's logs, the gas, the suspension tanks, how much proof do you need? Wake up, Captain. An invasion needs collaborators working from the shadows. She has access to the board, unlimited funds, and a colony full of sheep. This keycard will get you through the front door of her Byzantium estate. Don't ask how I got it. You might not like the answer. By now, the other side knows what you're doing. Don't trust anything Chartrand says. She's compromised down to the bone. Maybe even deeper than that.
Something on your mind?
BNP, I can't believe it's not yours. It's unbelievable how good it is. Rizzo, slap your whole family tonight.
gotta talk about this. I can't believe I wanted to shake his hand. I need a shower. It makes you wonder if being a treacherous, two-timing coward is some sort of contagious disease, or if he was just born that way. At first, I liked what Graham was doing. The Iconoclasts were going to change Halcyon for the better. But then, we found out Graham was behind the slaughter of Amber Heights. How can anybody so morally bankrupt lead a movement to transform the colony? Yeah, maybe you're right. You'd never do something like that, would you? Slaughter a whole community of innocents? I'm sure Graham told himself the same thing. He wasn't the one who held the gun and pulled the trigger. All he did was turn a key. The thing is, that's all it takes. Sometimes the difference between right and wrong is turning a key, or looking the other way, or keeping your mouth shut when you ought to speak up. Let's get back to it. I need to put all this ugly business with Graham behind me.
What's up? I took a job once to clear out a rap nest. Partnered up with a fellow out of Fallbrook who called himself Dirty Don. Bit on the shorter side. Had a penchant for cards. Thing is, he introduces himself and the man is immaculate. Clean. He had a flowery presence to him. A pleasantness that didn't invade your space. He was just there and you were glad for it. When we set out to hunt down the Raptidons, I found out firsthand where his nickname came from. Dirty Don killed those Raptidons with his bare hands. His bare fucking hands, Captain. He was a whirlwind of grotesque primal fury. In the end, he stood drenched in blood over the entrails of a dozen Raps. If he had a scratch on him, I wouldn't have been able to tell. It was glorious. Yeah. I never seen anything like it. Day came when he tried to take on a Mantiqueen. Got himself eaten one limb at a time. Wonder if he tasted like soap. Oh well, live and learn. No matter how tough you are, if you're gonna fight something bigger than you, bring a firearm. What's up? What's with the pleasantries? You want to know something? Just ask. I didn't. I was born into security detail, and when the corporations abandoned this place, I stayed. That's all I know. Besides, I had a few friends here, and they were staying too. No, that's a painful trail I ain't keen on walking again.
We can't relax. We're hungry for that first win, and we just gotta keep running the football. I think that's the MO. That's what our team's built on, is running it. We've seen that powerful role in the backs, the offensive lineman, and that's what we're gonna give Taylor. Continue to give him time.
It's not your business, and I'm not saying more on the subject. I'm going.
As you're looking around, you can see things
5 years go by, they send you a message out of the aether. What's going through your head?
A good second half, Tom.
All right, Molly, thanks. Dominating performance. Tampa Bay has outgained DC 219-79. It's a 16-0 lead for the home team.
You got the wrong idea, boss. It ain't like that. Guy by the name of Clyde Harlow. He was an old friend of mine. Honestly, he was probably my first and longest friend. I just heard from him. Says he wants to talk to me. Says it's urgent. Clyde's waiting for us on Scylla. What he's doing on an asteroid, I can't begin to imagine. I appreciate this, boss. I know you're going out of your way for me.
Be the better man you are, and look the part.
In America, all things no matter where we call home, how we worship, or who we love. And the 2020 census is how that great promise is kept. Because this is the count that informs where hundreds of billions in funding will go each year for things like education, healthcare, and programs that touch us all. Shape your future. Start here. Learn more at 2020census.gov.
T-Mobile's new offer on iPhone 11 is even better on our
A reminder to all crew members, there is only one toilet on the ship.
$90 for 2 iPhone 11s on us. Only at T-Mobile.
I've always had a problem with sweaty hands.
My feet were so sweaty, the general sports bra area.
My upper lip and my forehead.
It was just stressful. It's really been a tremendous struggle.
Like most people, we don't just sweat under the arms. So we created the Carpe line of sweat management products for all over the body.
I haven't had sweaty hands in 2 years since I started.
Honestly, just
Hey, should've get off the pot, damn it.
Injection.
Are you listening in there? You can't be hogging the facilities for 40 damn minutes.
I find myself marveling at the complex simplicity of the fib. Something.
True Niagen. It helps your body at the cellular level, increase energy, support metabolism, promote repair.
I noticed my energy levels starting to dissipate. I need something that can give me that boost to get me to the gym. I can honestly say it's going to drive some shiny sharp for football.
Dust accumulation analysis. 2.5 years.
Amazon or TrueNiagen.com, and right now get free shipping.
Thank you, customer. This area is utterly filthy. All SAM units travel fully assembled in a 12 by 12 corrugated steel box. Did you know SAM units are capable of equipping regulation-grade flamethrower nozzles? Upgrade your attachment today and get to firing away.
Everything's coming up Vipers tonight.
Got stubborn stains. Leave them for Sam.
This on the season. Tom Hart alongside Joey Galloway. Tampa Bay looking for its first win, and they look like an undefeated team, not a winless team.
Yeah, and when you talk about what they're doing here, Tampa's running the football. And if you can run the football, you win at any level of football. And because you've been able to do that, that's why they have the lead.
Let's take a look at our progressive game flow, and it starts DC with Cardell Jones.
Body language hadn't been great in this game. Now they've gone 6 straight quarters of see some bad balls, see some balls being thrown in place they shouldn't be thrown. And then you see the communication with his receivers just hasn't been great. And so this is an offense now. The good thing for them, they have another half to make adjustments and come out and look better. But if it's the same as we've seen in the first half and in the last game, I don't know how they come back from a 16-point deficit.
Well, things have changed dramatically according to Caesars Sportsbook. Tampa Bay now given 12.5 points. The total has moved to 37. And as far as our 4 prop bets before the night started, Joey told you which one would hit. That was Davion Smith. It's already covered. He's at the over 59 yards in the first half. You expect any of the first 3 to catch up?
Well, I think if they continue the way things are going now, the Cardell Jones, I don't know how they get there. They need to run the football, but from an offensive standpoint, Cornelius, the quarterback for Tampa, things should be wide open now because they've run it so well in the first half.
Tampa Bay, 40 offensive plays in this game to just 22 for DC. And the Vipers will start the second half with the ball. Ryan Davis set to return. If you haven't seen kickoffs in the XFL, this is what they look like. No big run up for the coverage team. They're just 5 yards away from the return team. And nobody on those 2 lines of scrimmage can move until the ball either hits the ground or is fielded. Hunter Nighswonger, one of 5 Northwestern players drafted in the XFL this season, bangs it to the goal line. Davis to the 20, to the 25. Corralled there on a solid return. So here's Taylor Cornelius making his 3rd start. You heard from Aaron Murray at the half, former Georgia product and Kansas City Chief, out with a foot injury tonight. Murray in an emergency role. Quentin Flowers, the hometown product, out of the game, out for personal reasons. They expect him back, we're told, on Monday. Here's Davion Smith. Tackled by Doran Grant.
I expect DC's defense to come out with 7-8 guys in the box and just take away the run game of Tampa and make Taylor Cornelius beat you in the second half.
Daniel Williams trying to make people miss. Reverses field. And he sprints through everybody. Daniel Williams looking for a block. What an amazing run into DC territory. The East St. Louis product picks
Stay safe out
Tampa offense is playing with so much confidence right now. Even a broken play because of the hustle. You make a couple guys miss, and when you come back across, because the defense is all chasing the ball, now your offensive lineman getting downfield, you get a couple receiver blocks, and all of a sudden, you're on the 32-yard line.
What a run by Williams.
NASCAR, son!
Great penetration by DC. Davion Smith thrown for a loss. Scooby Wright with a tackle.
Four wide.
Bullets, one wide peel.
We're going to be triple
bullets,
left
one
open.
wide peel.
Triple left open. Blue crayon.
Shoot away from the back.
F. Rambo, Y. Harvey.
Whole player help.
We're in the middle, so adjust your splits to the right. Wide out your splits to the right. Wider, Sean. Sean gets wider.
Pressure coming. They got in the backfield, but Jacquez Patrick ran right past him. And a nice cut up field for a first down run. Patrick looked the other.
Turbo left. Nickel. Red ball Titan. Red ball
Hey, you. Looking for something? Where do you think you're going?
Here's Williams again. DC had that one snuffed out.
Hey, nice form. Good delivery, too. You looking to join Captain Harlow's crew, huh? All right, go on through. Got my sights on you.
Nothing to do but stand around and
Again to the perimeter. This is Reese Horn. Frustration from DC late in this play.
Well, hey there, Hullhead. Clawed your way out of the groundbreaker at long last?
Uh-huh. Oh, sorry, were you expecting me to say something? Maybe a long time no see or a you've aged, old man?
They push each other, get back to the huddle, and play football.
So, you took Felix under your wing. Kept him busy. Good. Kid always needed a place to belong.
I don't know what you're trying to say, but he's earned his keep with us.
Hear that, Clyde? I've been making something out of myself.
So long as you haven't been making a fool of yourself. I'm sure Felix has no end of stories to tell of your exploits together. I look forward to catching up with the boy.
Plan to pursue a career in biomedical engineering if he didn't turn to pro football.
I'm afraid I have not made myself clear. Felix may have served you with childlike aplomb, but the day will come when he puts away childish things and serves a higher cause. I'm working on something. Something big. Something the likes of which Halcyon has never seen. And I want Felix to be a part of my initiative. I'm fulfilling a promise I made to the boy, that one day he and I would change the colony together. That day has finally arrived.
Easy there, Clyde. No one said nothing about throwing in with you. In case you didn't notice, I'm pretty happy where I am.
I'm not asking you to walk away from your captain, Felix, but neither should you allow yourself to be controlled by fear. Change is not to be feared. I brought you here because I want to know where Felix's loyalties lie. When the day of our revolution comes, I want to know that I can rely on him.
Pretty soon they're gonna have eyes everywhere.
Well, good night.
Geico, over 75 years.
Everyone in my crew proves their loyalty. No exceptions. Not even Felix. I want you to deal with a traitor for me. Name's Trask. Kill him, and bring me proof of his death. His ring should do nicely. Ratted us out to the board. He's been an informant. Has been for years. When he realized I was onto him, he and his little cadre mutinied. Killed 5 of my own and tucked tail. I don't know where he's hiding, but his wife might. Rosanna. Lives on the Groundbreaker last I checked. Rosanna knows my crew by name and face, but you're a stranger to her. She'll talk to you.
Clyde offered me a hand when nobody else would. I'd say I owe him a good turn.
There you have it, Captain. A favor for an old friend.
We get rid of this traitor for you and I'm in? I mean, assuming I want it.
We're building a new world together, Felix. You'll want in. Remember, I want proof. Bring me his ring. I don't care if the hand's still attached. Here, my token. Think of this as my personal signature. Anyone who knows me by my works will know me by this token.
There's no feeling like it.
That Harlow reminds me of my old dentist, and not in a good way.
Done the research. Found the spot. Nailed the presentation. And now there's only one thing left to do. It's hook set season. So gear up and start your season at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
That machine stole my...
Tampa Bay. Let's learn about the football.
Tom, here in the XFL, it's all about the ball. The game does not provide the footballs that both teams have to use. Every team has their own designated balls, which means you get to do whatever you want with your footballs. One reason Taylor Cornelius Corndog might be having a little success throwing the ball tonight, check this out, fellas. Oh, yeah. So ball obviously not puffed up, not a ton of air. A little bit deflated, you get a better grip, able to toss the football around. Joey, maybe a little bit easier to catch as well.
I don't know about easier to catch, but whatever my quarterback likes, that's what I like.
Yeah, indeed. Gain of 3.
We've arrived at the Groundbreaker.
16 of 21 for Taylor Cornelius.
So when he says 0, that means all out. And coming from outside, coach is telling him, yes, you have my permission to throw the fade when you see the matchup.
Tampa Bay will blitz. The flag on the play as Cardell Jones picks up less than a yard.
Okay. Holding. Offense, number 64, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Former Kentucky Wildcat John Toth.
He just grabbed the jersey and swung the defender around.
Is that allowed?
If you get caught, it's not.
We do have an injured player for DC. They're going to test their offensive line depth. DeAndre Wesley, who played his college ball at BYU.
Cole Boozer going to step in and pick up that Evans and told us that Boozer was going to play regardless. So he's a body that's still very comfortable.
Let's hop it over.
You mind? Trying to have a moment here. Rufus and I are no longer on speaking terms. I don't know where he is, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. That's Harlow's mark, no mistake. Guess he's not letting this one go. I don't want any manner of harm befalling Rufus. Not on my account.
We're not? Oh, right, yeah. We're non-violent sorts. Real diplomatic.
All right, you made your point. Rufus is hiding out in Emerald Vale. Got a few friends with him. That's as much as I know.
Just gotta progress out to 15.
Nice wander will be on to punt it away as Cardell Jones heads to the sideline. Ryan Davis set to return, not a good punt. They'll mark that one out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Currently winless Tampa Bay looks like they're on their way to their first victory of the season, and all smiles for the Vipers.
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
12 hours in a room with no windows? Not a protein bar. I'm talking about a burger with a crispy wheel of cheese on it. Help me, help you.
The new BFC Angus Thick Burger at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Feed your happy.
Growing up, I was in foster care and I didn't have any family to go to. I was working at an athletic sneakers store. It was long, demanding hours. I was on my feet all the time. I decided that it was time to look more into my passion and my purpose, and foster care was it. So I went on Indeed and looked up foster care, youth advocate, and so many different opportunities came up everywhere. I am currently an advocate for you that believe the success is even more substantial because I've been through it.
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head? Comb it over? Wear a hat? Just stop. This isn't 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out today because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone who texts SCOUT to 234-234. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Let them show you for free how awesome your hair
Make him regret it.
information kit.
Someone else will clean this up, right?
Next weekend in the XFL, things will get started in Houston as Seattle goes on the road 2 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Then the Guardians visit the Renegades. Landry Jones undergoing an MRI tomorrow. Knee injury today for Dallas. We'll wait and see his condition. St. Louis to D.C. Sunday.
Heads up!
Defense number 92. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I don't know who you are or why you're prowling around here, but I'm willing to make a guess. You're one of Harlow's gun hands, ain't you? He sent you after me. Yeah, of course he did. Thing is, you and I are at an impasse. Harlow wants me dead, and I've got no intention of dying. How do I know that I can trust you? Yeah, guess that's a fair point. Listen, I don't know what lies Harlow's dripped down your ear, but you'd be a fool to trust him. I never betrayed Harlow. Harlow betrayed all of us. The board's got him in their pocket, been paying him off for years. All that palaver about revolutions, it's a lie.
You're a real piece of work, Trask. Not just a turncoat, but a liar, too.
Go piss up a rope, kid. I've got nothing to prove to you. That's the whole truth. Harlow's just another board asset. A two-bit mercenary wearing a dissident's clothes. Yeah, I've got proof. There's always a paper trail when the board's involved. I chanced upon some correspondence between Harlow and his employer. I don't know that it makes a difference. What was I to do with that evidence? Bring it in front of the board? There's no authority in Halcyon willing to take Harlow to task.
Beating his prop bet. Over the 162 and a hook.
I hid my papers before Harlow chased me out. Back in the middle of the base, there's an old vent in a utility corridor. I stashed my evidence in that vent. Because he's for sale. Anything the board can buy, the board will buy. And that includes loyalty. Harlow was a charismatic bastard, and he was ruthless. With Harlow in their pocket, the board had an informant, a pirate, a smuggler, and a gang leader all rolled up into one odious excuse for a human being. Sounds like a deal to me. Board-sanctioned piracy. Harlow went after the ships the board wanted destroyed, capturing anybody the board wanted captured. If we captured you, we'd ransom you. Harlow liked to do the job himself. Gather up the captives on his own ship, vanish for a couple of days. Only that's not what happened. Harlow's been selling his captives off to the board. I don't know where they ended up. Re-education, Tartarus, maybe worse. Take it you've made up your mind. You gonna tell Harlow I'm dead? May as well. I'm never going back to that life again. Here, take the ring. And for what it's worth, my gratitude.
Can we talk?
Clyde Harlow, agent of the board. Yeah, that sounds even more insane out loud than it did in my head. Then again, Trask knew he was a dead man. Could have been trying to shift the blame. I can't imagine Clyde working for the board. But we owe it to ourselves to find out. Trask said he stashed the evidence in a vent back at the base. We should go take a look.
Moore gets this interception. And of course, when you throw an interception, quarterback, you better be heads up.
What did I tell you? Harlow's down with the man shtick was just an act. No one who yammers that much means half of it. Take a page out of my rule book. Don't trust anyone. Then it's easy. Don't get all mushy on me now. Come on, what did we just learn? People look out for their own interests. It's a fundamental law of nature, same as gravity and conservation of motion. Sure I can. In fact, I bet you I live a lot longer. Well, let me know how that works out for you. Anyway, you really want to tell me you're helping the scientist because you think he'll save the colony? And here I thought I'd seen it all. This galaxy must be bigger than I'd thought. Enough about Harlow, though. Anything else?
Here to go shift to offense. Now we'll have a Players became set. Penalty is half the distance to the goal line. Second down.
Yeah. Here we go. Dice left. Dice left hop. Let's go. Ox, Rapid Odd Heat, Lynx Takeoff, Z Lightning. Let's go Z Oscar. Z Oscar, okay?
Cardell Jones facing pressure, gets hit as he throws. And it's taken back by Tampa Bay. Tavares McFadden with the interception. We got a flag back in the coverage. Bobby Richardson delivered a hit to Cardell. Might be a premature celebration.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 15 of the offense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
So Tavares McFadden's interception stands.
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again.
For this DC offense, they take their shot, pressure in the end zone. This is just a jump ball. Now, not to throw you on a cannot allow just jump up and catch this ball. Even though it's a terrible read and a terrible ball, it's our responsibility to make sure that that's not an interception.
Teams trade picks.
I'll lock up. Behind you.
Davion Smith followed up.
Tavares, what did you do to win in that one-on-one matchup?
Just playing my technique. Balls in the air, try to make a play.
All right, thank you.
Oh, that's it? All right.
I'm going easy on him, Tom.
He wanted a lot more. He wants the spotlight. He was a great high school quarterback up in Fort Lauderdale. Number 3 quarterback in the class of 2015. Daniel Williams out of bounds.
Tampa threw an interception on their last drive in the red zone. I bet to get back to more of the simple offense. 3-step drop, bubble screens, try to run the football. They need to get points on this drive to get the momentum back.
Pressure up the middle. Cornelius will take off with it. To the 5, to the goal line. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Cornelius took a shot at the end of that run.
Man-to-man coverage by DC. They're trying to find a way to bring pressure to Cornelius. Does a nice job realizing all the defensive back are to him. So when he sees his gap, takes off running, takes a shit to get this ball in the end zone.
There's the hit. Delivered by Desmond Lawrence. Aaron Murray is the backup.
What's the word?
He's got a foot injury. Talking to him on the field before the game.
Not surprised. Trask was a dead man trying to negotiate with his own executioner. He'd say anything to preserve his life.
Going for 2.
That's a damning accusation. Am I right to presume you have some evidence on hand?
And he gets stuck at the 1.
Those papers don't prove a thing. We've all done business with the board. They own the whole damn colony. Trask put you up to this. That miserable wretch. He's trying to undermine everything I stand for. You've got a lot of nerve calling me a liar to my face.
Cornelius badly.
How should I know? What the hell do I care? Trask was a traitor. I didn't ask you to understand his motives. I asked you to cross him off.
Clyde, look me in the eye and tell me it's not true. Tell me, and I'll believe you.
Don't talk to me like I'm some common criminal, Felix. You're the one on trial, not me. I don't know what kind of poison that snake dripped in your ear, but as far as I'm concerned, you've been compromised.
Their mistake. Beat you!
I'll take this one.
That's the last of them.
Taylor, we just joked that you're a little bit out of breath from that run. What was your mentality after that interception?
We're just going to bounce back, mentality, come back, and we put a good drive together, and we got the score.
You took some big hits. How does your body feel?
I feel
We're
good.
about to ruin your day.
No mess. We're the best.
Media training for folks in Oklahoma State, isn't it? That's fantastic. We got an injured player on the field for Tampa Bay. Taylor Cornelius told the team he thought his shoulder popped out.
I've had worse.
What was that?
Looks like we're doing this.
Games with Redskins in 2015 after being an undrafted free agent.
What does DC do on offense? You heard Coach Pep Hamilton say we're going to go some RPOs. They are searching for something right now.
Here we go. Dice left hop, same even whiz. Links Z Oscar.
They go to the ground game. You've seen Cardale Jones play a lot of football. What do you think he would be most comfortable with in this scenario?
You know what? It almost looks like if you look at the
If you stop in the engine room, would you ask Parvati to send Sam down to the bridge?
they look confused. Some of the balls he's thrown are in
This
areas
is
where there's too
this is
many
definitely not how I imagined it'd end. The void's black, water's wet, and Clyde hated the board. That's something I just knew. Now? I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Zebra, buzz left. Let's go. Buzz left, odd Ziggy Book twitch.
I've just got a lot on my mind right now. This is a lot to take in. I always looked up to Clyde. The thought that he could be an agent of the board is just abhorrent to me.
You're listening to him call the play, looking at his body language. Everybody's confidence is affected when your quarterback
Yeah, he did.
is in this mode.
And I'm not sure how I'm going to get over that.
Searching for a play to make, bouncing the outcuts that you don't normally see him do. It affects
I
everyone,
hope so.
including the coach.
I don't see this one passing anytime soon. You've given me a lot to think about. I'm going to be mulling over this whole mess for a couple of days. I don't know what I believe anymore. Maybe it's better that way. Thanks for your time, boss.
officials thought there were 12 on the field for DC. DC had it right with only 11, so the flag picked up. Hunter Nicewander will punt it away. Beauty of a kick. Ryan Davis from the 8. And Davis gets taken down by the first man down the field. 55-yard punt. A.J. Tarpley to stop. We got another flag on the play. Taylor Cornelius coming back on the field for Tampa Bay. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. I believe I heard him say it was his left shoulder, and he said he's had worse. And when you say left shoulder and you're a quarterback, you're right-handed.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, receiving team number 35. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line. First down, Tampa Bay.
I think they just relax a little bit. When the quarterback says it's my left shoulder and I'm good to go, then they're fine. Let's go play football. Especially in this situation, they have the lead, 22-0. They're going to come out, and I would be very surprised if they don't try to get back and establish the run, not only just to keep the clock running, but to keep their quarterback healthy at this point. So he's taking some hits. And then